Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Associate Professor Robert McClelland. I am the Deputy Dean for the School of Business and Management. And it's my great pleasure to welcome all of you to this business talk, which is the 6th in our series, and it's on smart supply chain and specifically efficiency through technology. Today we have two talks, and the first talk will be from Mr. Hong, who is from SmartLog Vietnam, and he will be followed by a joint presentation from Mr. Dave and Mr. Nicholas, who are from Schneider Electric. There will be a Q&A session that follows, which will be moderated by Dr. Hifam, who is our cluster lead for logistics and supply chain management. I do hope you will enjoy these talks and find them very useful as a contribution to our business talk series 6. So let's go ahead, and I'll pass over to Dr. Hiep to kick us off with the session.
Thank you, Associate Professor Robert. It's my pleasure to start this business talk and give a bit of background about the topics and why we conduct this business talk, and then hope that you can benefit from the insight of the presented by the presenter. So we are now in a very challenging times. Technology have reached a new maturity levels, and with the COVID-19 pandemic, the digital transformation in Vietnam have really accelerated at a much faster rate. And Vietnam is soon becomes like a new supply chain hub, thanks to the low manufacturing costs, stable political systems, and we are very open, for international trade. So business now try to focus to optimize the supply chain to be more competitive and relevant. As you know, logistics and supply chain in Vietnam have developed substantially in the last few years at about 14 to 60% annual. And we rank number 13 out of 160 countries in the world, and number 4 in Asia, behind Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. But still, we are facing a lot of challenges, very high costs in logistics, and technology adoption still low among logistics companies. And also, a lot of Vietnamese logistics providers are small and very small. So we have a lot of issues. So in today's session, the three supply chain experts from Schneider and SmartLog will share with us more insight about the business challenge and how smart technology managed and developed by smart people can help the company grow in such a challenging time. So it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Nguyễn Duy Hồng, Deputy General Director of SmartLog, to share his views towards smart technology opportunity for the supply chain provider. So please, Mr. Hong, you can start.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hong from SmartLog. It's my honor to be here today to present you the topic promoting digital transformation, invent prospect for smart logistics. So recently we talked a lot about industrial revolution or revolution 4.0. In short, this revolution is just represented by the 4 alphabet letters A, B, C, and D. A represent for AI or artificial intelligence, B is big data, C cloud computing, and D is digitalization. Is the topic that I'm talking today. So digitalization, what is it? So what is digitalization? Is it a trend, or some companies they think that just buy software and they can go digital, or you buy some tool or other things? So we go to define what is it for digital transformation. According to George Westerman, he said that transformation is all about technology, people, and process. The prerequisite of this transformation is all related to people. Or Mark Benioff, CEO from Salesforce, he said every digital transformation is going to begin and end with the customer. Customer is vital to any businesses. So all the transformation need to begin and end with customer. So in this slide, I will tell you some characteristics of digital transformation. It's all about seamless operation, real-time and visibility, automation and paperless operation. And last one, we talk about data. So seamless operation, I mean on the integration among systems. If some company, they just buy one functional system, that one system cannot talk to each other. For example, like I speak English and you speak Russian, then we don't understand each other. The system is all the same. It needs to talk to each other. Then the information can go through from one system to the other. So recently we talk about API or EDI. API is mean application programming interface or electronic data interchange. So that will help link the system together. And the cloud platform will allow zero downtime operation. Manager need, when they manage the operation, day-to-day operation, they need the full picture. So the real-time and visibility is very important. So logistic system like IoT, mobility, allow real-time and visibility. QR code and RFID also allow real-time traceability as well. For automation, it will have the contactless operation, like in warehouse or in transport. Now, for some warehouse, they don't need any paper. We call paperless operation. It's all automated. Like you go to Amazon for the e-commerce, they own the picking system or slotting system is owned by robotic. So the process automation, this helps to increase the productivity. So the last but not least is the data. Real-time and large data for analytics is very important. Recently, we talked about machine learning, artificial intelligence. This start to create the value in the supply chain. The data, in fact, in this area is not much. It needs to accumulate in the next coming 5 or 10 years. Then we can start to dig into the detail for the bigger data to service the industry. So here is our observation of the digital transformation in Vietnam. Vietnam just at its first step of logistic digital transformation, where the other country in the world, they have started, let's say, 10 or 20 years ago. But Vietnam just at first step of the logistic digital transformation. The digital transformation initiated at the good owner or the shipper rather than the logistic service supplier. Like you see, we have Sabeco, we have a TH Mill, Vietnam Mill, we own the shipper or the good owner or the factory. They all initiate the digital transformation. Then that will trigger the operation from the logistic supplier side, like the 2PL or 3PL service provider. Digital transformation skyrocket as of the COVID-19. The virus COVID-19 is considered at the tipping point that pushed on the company to move forward for digitalization. And e-commerce, retails, and FMCG are the pioneer in transformation. This all the industry related to our daily consumption. They are the pioneer. And last mile transform faster than the first mile and middle mile. Last mile on related to customer experience or the young teenagers or the Gen X, Gen Y, or Gen Alpha. They are the one who love technology. So every day they touch on mobile phone, on the tablets, to shopping online. So that's kick off on the downstream of the supply chain. That's why our observation that the last mile transform faster than the first mile and the middle mile. And here is a roadmap that we think will happen in Vietnam for the coming years. This roadmap of logistic digitalization initiative in Vietnam. For the next 2 years, we call it short term. The company will focus on the software like WMS, the warehouse management system, or TMS, the transport management system, or freight management system, or container transport management system. That all the system will support the internal logistic. The company will optimize the internal resource. We call it the inter-collaboration in the supply chain. In the medium term, let's say next 3 or 5 years, they talk about shared resources like shared transport, shared warehouse, shared platform, or smart port platform. Some company in Vietnam now, they initiate the project like smart port. They connect all the shipper, the shipping liner and port and transporter together for the smart operation. And they talk about RFID, IoT network, or city logistic innovation. In Vietnam recently, we have a very big project, so-called One Mile Group from Vin Group, Techcombine, and Masan. They join together to have a project for city logistic innovation that all related to the retail industry. They transform all the traditional retailer into the high-tech one. Now they use the tablet and some tool to book the shipment, and that link to the ERP and the logistic operation. Also, we talk about platform-based for PL, automation as a service, or analytics as a service in the medium term. In the long term, let's say after 5 years, we'll see in Vietnam, we believe in Vietnam there will be driverless truck. We have a drone. Now Amazon, they have a successful test, the drone that will pick up the shipment and deliver to customer. And future in 5 years, I think Vietnam will have such a service. And we also see the circulating supply chain or some share model. That's the roadmap we think that will happen in the 5 years. Because we are here today, we think that we are here today not the function of the past. We are here today, represent ourselves in the future that we are living to. So we are living to in the 5 years, that's we will see a very smart supply chain in the country. So at Smart Lock, we have a mission to create the end-to-end logistic platform for such a future. That platform will reflect the physical operation. Let's say you see the physical operation, the operation of a supply chain include the physical flow, informational flow, and financial flow that will be represented by our model. In the model, you see 3 layers. The first layer is the software. We will provide a software as a service, like transport management system that I will demo later, or the IoT and telematics, WMS, the warehouse management system. And in the second layer, you see the middle one, we will see the container swap platform, or transport exchange platform, or end-to-end supply chain control tower, or supply chain finance. We will focus on the container swap platform. Let's say the importer and exporter can reuse the empty container together. Instead of return the empty one to the depot or the port, now the importer can release the empty container to the exporter for reuse. That will have saving money, reduce the empty traveling, and cut off the lift on and lift off cost. For transport exchange platform, recently, according to the report, that almost 70% of the truck return empty. We say the truck carry wind, wind carrying truck will bring no benefit. So the exchange platform of transport will have matching the shipper with the transporter. Then the truck will be laden 2 ways. The supply chain control tower will have leadership, will have manager to have a full visibility of the day-to-day operation. And the supply chain finance will have financing on the transport activity. Let's say instead of waiting for the month end or the credit term of, let's say, 2-3 months, all the transport service can get the finance from the bank up on the completion of the delivery. And on top, on the top layer, we will focus on the big data and AI platform for optimization. When we have enough data in this operation, in this industry, we will start to dig in the big data and to have a further value in this logistic and supply chain. This is our mission of Smart Lock, to create the end-to-end logistic platform for the future. In our current model now, we have a SaaS or software as a service platform. We focus on the 2 main solutions. The first solution is the Smart Lock transport management system. The second one is Smart Lock warehouse management system. The 2 solutions will build up a concrete foundation for the ecosystem, and then we'll move up to the logistic as a service platform. That logistic as a service platform, supply chain solution for distribution, trucking, and import-export container. We will focus in B2B marketplace, focus on large and medium-sized clients, and minimize account acquisition time, little effort, and greater results. For illustration, here we see the transport management system and the warehouse that will link to the logistic control tower, and the logistic control tower will link up to the smart lock transport exchange or the platform. This model or this package will API or interlink with the such system like ERP or other system. So when they link together, you see like a triangle. The top one, the BI, business intelligence. The second one is CRM, and next is the logistic package, and the last one in the base is the ERP system. So all that software will have in the cost reduction. It's a new way of transport procurement, transport bidding, cargo pooling, container pooling, and cross-dock solution. So that will focus on service excellence or collaborative logistics. In this case, we'll talk about HR collaboration, meaning if the TMS and the WMS will have one enterprise to optimize its internal optimization, the FTX, the exchange one, will have all the company in the field to share the resource, like the HR collaboration in the supply chain. So when we talk about the strength of the supply chain, it's said that the weakest link of the supply chain is strength. The strength of the supply chain is weakest link. So our solution will have to remedy all the weak links. We will make all the link of the chain will be successful, will be strong, will be powerful, and to make the supply chain as a whole will be powerful. So our solution will result in some award that we received. In 2019, we received a Southway Award for our transport solution. In 2020, we received an award for our warehouse solution. Recently, we are ranked the top 10 Vietnam ICT company 2020 for the sector of smart city with our solution. So during this talk, I will give you one showcase of our function of a smart lock transport management system. This is the whole routing of a transport activity from loading to transport, delivery, and return is on inbound logistics, outbound logistics, and reverse logistics. So our full-fledged SDMS will provide the client with some model like order management, truck planning, monitoring, document management, monitoring KPI, report billing, and fleet management. The order management will integrate through API or EDI with ERP system, enterprise resource planning system. This allows the real-time order status tracking. And for the truck planning, we will optimize planning routes like route, vendor, load, and some constraint of the transport to make it optimized. The real-time vendor tendering like rate, quota, route, and performance. That will help transform from traditional methods of forward contract into the float rate. Also, the monitoring window will have the manager to see the real-time tracking like through GPS, black box. Our system will connect with all the black box of the truck to positioning where the truck is in terms of position. And it will manage the event and incident on the road as well. The document management will allow the EPOD, let's say driver can use the mobile phone to take the photo of the proof of delivery and upload to our system. Monitoring KPI, we have real-time KPI for monitoring like OTIF. OTIF is very important in distribution. Like OTIF means on-time delivery in full. So customer, they want to monitor all the delivery to make sure that they get the full shipment on the right time, right place, and right quantity. And for the fleet management, we'll manage the fleet operation, driver salary, and truck status, etc., and so on and so forth. So here's the screen of our order management. This is auto trip planning and optimization. There are some simple steps. Let's just select order and vehicle, parameter and constraint setup, and auto planning result. We'll show in let's say 2-3 minutes that we can have the result for 100 trips or 1,000 trips. In truck planning and tendering, 4 steps. Let's say orders is when order sent to vendor. order receive and vendor update trip information, and approved trip will send to driver mobile app. Track and trace. This screen will have us to see where the truck move on the road on the digital map. And the status, let's say all the color will show you the status of the order. Let's say whether it's complete or it's under progress. It's the screen for mobile app for the driver. It's where the driver just download the mobile app and get a subscriber, and then they can interact with the planner. When the planner will send the order to the driver, and the driver will answer in this application. So I continue with the dashboard that will have the manager to see the full visibility of the daily operation. We own the chart and the bar like in the screen. I give you one case study of the Sabeco. Sabeco is a top beverage company in Vietnam. Recently, it was bought over by Thailand company. So in the past, they just have a one ERP system, the enterprise resource planning. So we come to talk to Sabeco. That's we help them to go further into digital. We provide the logistic package to them. So the first step, we give them the trial of our TMS, the transport management system. And for the second phase, they use our WMS, that warehouse management system, for almost 100 warehouse nationwide. So the 100 warehouse nationwide talk together and help them planning very well for the forecast the demand and the replenishment of the inventory. And then we provide them the control tower with the full visibility of all the logistic activity from production to warehouse to transport, delivery, and to return logistic. So you imagine that one day they have a 500 to 1,000 truck per day, 1,000 trip per day, and they have 30 subcontractor and hundreds warehouse. So all the activity is not linked together. It's on isolate one. And then our system control tower help them together to control all the activity. So they remedy all the weak links of their supply chain, make their supply chain become powerful. So our solution control tower with end-to-end visibility will help them manage the subcontractor performance, detect the cross-border sale violation. The sale cross-border is very important. When the sale they want to increase, they sell cross-border. And this system will help them detect all the delivery of the cross-sale area. And the fleet optimization and fleet and driver management. We manage the driver behavior through our IoT, and we have a KPI monitoring. So at the end of the day, the Sabeco, they are very happy with this solution. And you look at the screen, only 3 screens the manager can see every day to manage the whole supply chain, whole operation. That is our control tower concept of this program. So as I tell you from beginning, that's digitalization is very important to enterprise to go further. And the digitalization start from the shipper or the good owner side. And Sabeco is a typical example of the digital transformation from the good owner side, and thus have transformed all the other 30 subcontractor. The other 30 subcontractor, they need to transform accordingly to in order to provide the service to this Sabeco. So the case study of Sabeco come to an end of my presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hong. And we have quite a number of questions for you, but we will leave that after the second presentation. So yeah. Please wait for us until the end. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the next presentation will be from Mr. Niklas Olia, warehouse manager, and Bragnas Dev, the supply chain expert from Schneider Electric, to talk about their digitalizing warehouse experience. As you might know, that Schneider is one of the world's largest provider of energy automation digital solution for efficiency and sustainability. And I just realized that the slogan of the company is "Life is on." So please welcome Niklas Olia and Bragnas Dev. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is safe and going well. So I'm going to present you our digital transformation in the warehouse, what we have done on the last past years in Schneider, Vietnam. So overall on that project, we are doing about 700 kilo of saving for a total cost of the warehouse about 2 million euros. So it represents about almost about 40% of saving for the total cost of the warehouse for 1 year. So we can go next. Yeah. So warehouse ID. So just quickly to give you a bit an overall picture about how warehouse is presenting. So we are managing around 110 pallets per day, in and out every day. We got about 4,500 pallets in our warehouse storage. We got about 16 million euros of inventory, and our factory is a high mix, low volume. So that means that in our 8,000 SKU, 80% are slow mover. So it means that we are moving 1 time a month. So that's a difficulty to handle in our warehouse. All right, the situation in 2019, it was many stop lines. We can see some pictures. That was our warehouse in 2019. Very messy, more than 4,500 backorder lines. Backorder lines means that we are late. Our OTD was clearly around 50% on-time delivery. We don't have any process, role-less responsibility without any master data. So I think the pictures are talking by themselves. So I will follow for this presentation the DMAIC measure. I'm sure at school you already know what is the DMAIC. So define, measured, analyze, improve, and control. So when we talk about the measure level, we look about the entire process from the receiving, picking, replenishment, outbound, and we will look about the inventory accuracy and the costs and people. So for our receiving, the lead time was 48 hours, and we target at the beginning to go for 24 hours of lead time for the receiving. In terms of picking, we were at 2 TO, so TO is transfer order, it's 1 picking in the warehouse, per head count and per hour, we were targeting 10 TO. For the replenishment, it was 3 to 5 days to pick the lead time to push it to our productions. So we were targeting in 1 day, we need to pick everything and push it out. In terms of inventory accuracy, we had about 1 million euro of block stock in our warehouse. So out of 16 million, 1 million in the warehouse, we cannot find anymore, and 20%, less than 20% of bin accuracy. The cost of the warehouse was 280 euros per month. We were targeting 150, and number of people was 154, so 160 people, and we were targeting to go below 90 people. So this is our pictures when we start the project of the warehouse transformation and the digitalization process. So how we did that? So we use different methodology. I would say the simple one in terms of lean manufacturing is the red-green analysis. We took picture process by process. We look at the red times, the green times, and we look at how can we improve that by the digitalization solutions, by the digital solutions. So we have done some fishbone, we have done some analysis. So this is very the key point, how we can improve process by process and how we can brainstorm with the team to ensure that we can find a better process together. So yes, analyze. So we can see that 70% was red time. It means non-value added times. So this is a situation when we start the project and only 31% of the time was value added. So we were working to remove all of the red time by doing some video analysis. All right, so I propose to you right now to go for the entire video of the warehouse. It will be maybe a bit more interesting for you to follow the warehouse, to follow that video. So we can just follow the video of what we have done on this warehouse in terms of digital solutions. Hello everyone, I'm very happy today to introduce our warehouse transformations and what we have done on the last past 6 months in Vietnam. SCMB is managing around 100 pallets in and out every day with 4,500 pallets of storage. Our factory is high mix, low volume, managing around 10,000 SKU and 92% are M&R mover. That's a difficulty to handle in our warehouse. We replenish around 8,000 TO every day to our productions. Alan, can you explain quickly what we have done?
Yes, Nico. So what we did was to connect on a real-time basis the physical and the virtual flows all together. And for that, we use a red-green analysis from the receiving to the GR to have a proper end-to-end digitization. In parallel, we also deploy a real-time data tracking from SAP Southeast Asia to our warehouse on tower, and also from our local application to our warehouse on tower. So today we have a real-time and an end-to-end digitized processes automation in SCMB warehouse.
So before going into the detail of our warehouse transformations, let me introduce the team.
Hi, our control tower consists of SAP Southeast Asia ERP and local application data source. We use Tableau software as our main data management and display. It's able to be seen on the smart TV from across the factory. This is real-time data and everyone is able to see at any time.
Hi, today I am really excited to share about the control tower. In the past, we wasted a lot of time making manually dozens of reports a day. Modern city leaders to build Excel tracker for every day. Right now, no more manual cooking. We are using all the warehouse control tower to review on KPI per process during SIM 2 and 1 and 2. Present is directly by leader without any cooking data. Our control tower are building a lot of value in terms say in accuracy of information.
I'm very happy to introduce our receiving. We used to have 13 people per shift without clean process defined. All box checking and SAB transaction were manual without any master data of standard box and pallet. Today we are using fast CR application connect to the SAP ASN for the PO barcode, and we are doing CR on of one pallet in less than 15 seconds. By box scanning yellow paper real-time transaction in SAB for the better accuracy until push away. With this optimization, we are working with 4 headcount per shift for 100 pallets CR per day, and this change make a happy life for all workers of our warehouse.
Hello everyone, I'm happy to share with you about this digital picking application in the ZCMB. 6 months ago, we have over 1,600 double bending LED and manually picked by the paper and controlled by the Excel file. And we have more than 60% in the picking team, and we will work 20 hours per day. And we have many issues from production supply. Right now, we develop the RPA tool with the digital tracker and have visibility of material on production line real time, and then we supply ready-mix on-time delivery to production. With this solution, the lead time 3.5 hours, and we reduce 45% on the same workload 8 hours per shift. Our new process picking bring a lot of value attempt in saving lead time, accuracy delivery with a very happy life.
When we look at the outbound today, we will see improvements. In the past, we use the on delivery order and package by Excel for every single pallet. We can imagine number of the human mistakes we were facing. Our physical process flow were not set. More than 10 people shift were working on the outbound. Since we deployed this back module solution, we avoid many menu transactions, and we can do on packing list and deliver order automatic by pallet. We work on physical flow using red print analysis from clean manufacturing. And today, only 3 people per shift make outbound up to 100 pallets per day without hard life.
All right. So in our entire process, and we can see here the receiving, what we have done, we have digitalized all processes. It means that we have 0 paper to manage our inbound. So when we receive a pallet, we do everything by barcode, and we have done that by our local applications. We have some engineer on site in Schneider to deploy those applications for us. It's like Android or iPhone, Apple applications. And by themselves, we are creating some QR code with our supplier. When we receive, we only need to GR to receive the good by QR code and by scan. So this is the first application that we have done for the receiving. The second one, will be what we call our TO tracker. TO, it's a transfer order from SAP. So when the production need any materials, they will release one transfer order, and we will have one application, the same concept, when we can see everything in real time, all production work in progress at the line to know how many hours of coverage material we have at the production line. And based on that, we will prioritize all work order and all transfer order, and same, only everything by RF gun without any paper from the end-to-end process. In terms of replenishment and outbound, we went to SAP solution. So this one is not our local application, but we just use the SAP module. But same, we remove all paper and we use the solutions which is available in SAP. In terms of inventory accuracy, we have developed our own application as well to know exactly what should be the bin accuracy per bin. And then our operators with the RF gun or with the tablet today, they go with the iPad at the bin and they check what the quantity is, they fulfill the quantity immediately, and we can have all dashboard automatically in our control tower, and we can see directly what is our inventory accuracy, bin accuracy, and SKU accuracy in real time. And all of those applications are interconnected in what we call in one cloud of data. And what we call control tower linked to SAP and NGSoft. NGSoft is our software in productions, production data software. So all of those data, they go in one cloud, and from there we have all single dashboarding to follow the performance of process and people in real-time data. So this is really the key of controlling and to ensure that everything is interconnected to manage our team and to manage our performance at the real-time data. All right, if we go back now to control. We remember this slide at the beginning, so we can go for the receiving. We were targeting 24 hours. Next. Right now, we can do about 3.5 hours. That means that one pallet we receive, in 3.5 hours, it's available for the productions. In terms of picking, we are doing 2 TO transfer order per hour and per people. Right now, we are doing 18. It's crazy. Next, we were doing 3 to 5 days of picking lead time. Right now, we do that in 3.5 hours. Immediately, we go 3.5 hours after our production is served. In terms of accuracy, we were at 1 million block stock. Right now, 1.3k euro, which is nothing. And accuracy was less than 20%, become 88% of bin accuracy right now. We still have to work on the accuracy, but it's much better. In terms of cost of the warehouse, of course, we reduce people, we reduce our consumable, and we have a good control of the cost. We were at 208 kilo euro per month. We are doing now 100 kilo euro per month, almost 50%. And people, we were targeting 90 people. Today, we can count 74 people in our warehouse. So that's the total, let's say, control, what we can do 1 year after. In terms of cost, we are just investing like RF gun, tablets, and some SAP development who cost us about 135k euro. And our gain cost saving is about 700k euro of 1 year rolling, 12-month rollings. So this is about, it's one of the best score ever in terms of cost and investments. This is 1 year project. So, of course, we are working on the sustainability to ensure that whatever we developed and we create in our process daily, it's sustained in terms of operation, in terms of process, and of course to ensure that we can reach the cost control at the end of the month. All right, so this is one of our best practice. So I'm sharing today with you, and I'm quite happy to share our best practice. But we already have this best practice sharing to all of our factory worldwide in Schneider, to benchmark our digital warehouse from Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, across the world. So this is something that we are a bit proud of sharing, and I'm quite happy today to share with all of you. All right, so if you have any question in terms of digitalization, warehousing, or how we have done, I'll be very happy to answer to your questions.
Yeah, so just want to add along with Nicholas, this is one of the best transformation in the Ho Chi Minh factory, worldwide appreciated. So if you see, like we have Grammy Award in the music, similarly there is a Gartner Award in the supply chain. And I would like to say with proud that last 5 years we was at part of one of the top 50 companies, but now last year and current year the score is we are in the top 5 company now. So within 5 years, we was part of top 100 company in the list in the Gartner Award. Gartner is the one of the most ranked supply chain ratings given by the Gartner company after evaluating the inventory, asset management, your customer satisfaction, how you are working, managing your cash flow, and how you are managing your overall transformation projects. From within 100 company, we are in top 5 company now. So we are really feeling proud, and we started in the presentation, we say that in Vietnam, really there are golden chance of opportunity to improve at different buckets. The government is also supporting. We have a good, the country is also growing. The country GDP is also growing, and it is great time to work in Vietnam, and especially in Ho Chi Minh in this company. And we are happy to help you. It's part of the student, Institute and Industrial Association. So we are here to deliver a session with you, and a great time to connect with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave and Nicholas, for your insight. So I would actually have a few questions for you right now before I come back to Mr. Hong for further question. So the system that you implemented here, that you demonstrated here, when was it implemented and
So actually, when it was implemented, I would say it's over the past year. So it's not something that on the morning we wake up and we push on the button and we make it happen. So it's really like on the long run, process by process, we fix the receiving, after we fix the picking, after we fix the replenishments, process by process. And when everything is done, we try to interconnect everything in one cloud. So I would say it's maybe about almost 1 application per month toward 7-8 months.
Yeah, and what would be some of the most challenging issues that in implementing these projects?
The most challenging things is more in terms of make the change, because people in the warehouse, a lot of people was there and no one really believed on the system and on the digitalization. They could not see the value. They just can see at the beginning, oh, it's extra work to make the change. So it was really to spend time to explain to our people what the benefits of the digitalizations and what value it can bring. Once we have done the first application and it was working well, then they start to be more interested and to understand what will be the value, and then we can all together define a better process for the next situations. And day after day, it was getting better. But at the beginning, it was very tough for us to explain to them what can be the change.
So always change is difficult to digest first, but when they started getting benefit out of that, results to the customer, internal people, getting a process stabilization, people started accepting and started changing their mindset. So changing mindset, as Nicholas is saying, it's difficult, but when people started creating a value out of that, they will accept it. I hope you can see my screen now, the Gartner reports.
Yeah,
so you can see this. I was trying to explain you that this is the top 25 companies. So in 2014, Schneider was around 67th rank. Then we become 34, then 18, 17, 12, and now in 2020 we are at the fourth rank in the worldwide. So this is the report I am sharing worldwide, and all the improvement projects what Nicholas is also sharing. We are benchmarking. So this is the local global footprints. Like we have around 98 distribution centers, 50 countries. We have a logistics center. Manufacturing is around 188 factories, 44 countries. So we are benchmarking worldwide all these best practices from Vietnam country.
Yeah, really impressive that you can move. The company have moved the rankings in that award. I have one question from the audience. Which system is your warehouse currently using, and is there any documentation needed during I think probably the projects, the implementations of the job projects?
Alors, what system are we using? The main ERPs that we have overall in our factory is SAP.
Okay.
But the issue is SAP may not be, let's say, flexible enough to be adapted to our process, especially at the beginning. It's too heavy, it's a mountain of ERP, it's not flexible enough. So we develop a PHP applications. So it's like Android or iPhone applications, and everyone can do, any developers. And we just interlink with some bad job running with SAP to get the information from SAP and to display the data. And this one we use PHP applications. And as dashboarding and visualization, we are using Tableau software.
Yeah.
Based on that, we can do everything. One point which is very important for me to share with you is, in terms of digitalization, we don't have any limit. Everything is possible. The main complexity is to define what do we need and what do we want. And this is the main difficult point. Once we know exactly what we want, it's easy to make it happen. But I just want to share with the audience today that when you are thinking about any project or any process improvements, be free of mind. We need to think exactly, we need to dream what we want in our process and just work to find a solution to make it happen. And digitalization speaking, it's possible. We are always have a way.
Yeah. Thank you for your very optimistic mindset about when you start in a digital project, which is always very challenging. Thank you very much for your insight. And now I would like to pass a few questions to Ms.
Thank you so much. Just allow us for today. Thank you very much. It's great time to talk to everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. All right. And Home, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. So we have quite a few questions here. The first question from Vin Thai. How soon you will see the driverless truck and car probably in Vietnam? And is it feasible that in the short term, that given the regulatory constraints, even in developed countries, so you think that would be something will be going on the those kind of car will be on the road?
We do think in the coming 5 years there will be driverless truck and drone around the country. That driverless truck and drone will serve in logistic industry. We have picking, delivering the shipment to the customer. Believe or not, now you are using driverless vehicle. Let's say when you go to the airplane, actually in the airplane there are pilot, but 90% of the aircraft is operate automatically, not by any pilot, even though the pilot is sitting there. Or if you go to any metropolitan, let's say in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, soon we'll have a metropolitan. That's when they operate without driver. It's the fact. So in logistics to deliver shipment, we believe in the coming 5 years there will be drone, there will be driverless truck everywhere in the street. Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm sure there will be some risks that people are concerned with those technology.
Now you see in the warehouse, like we have a driverless forklift. That's happened, but it within the forward operation of the warehouse or in the industrial zone. But in the coming future, that will have some regulatory for the driverless truck on the street as well. Now, if you go by bus or by train or by airplane, that's the driverless already, even though the pilot is sitting there. Yeah. So in the 5 years, it will be, let's say, allowed by the government for that one to develop the smart logistic. Yeah.
Yeah. I have another question. And I think this is very interesting. You know, recently that Vingroup created the One Mount Group.
Yeah.
And it's a collaboration between Masan and Vingroups. Yeah. What do you think would be the how's impact to the future trends of the supply chain in Vietnam? How do these like huge player in the supply chain market will affect our logistics supply chain industry?
Yeah, actually this one affect the consumer trend first. The consumer trend in the traditional retail. The traditional retailer, they book the order by manual, like by paper or by telephone or by fax. But this trend now, they have a mobile app, they have a tablet, and they have a system that transfer the traditional retail into e-commerce. So the One Mile Group, they transfer the traditional retail into e-commerce. All the traditional shop or retailer now they use the mobile app to book the order, and that order will go to the control tower of the One Mile Group, and that one will allocate into the warehouse for delivery. So there are two models, similar model is the One Mile Group, and the second one is the Telio. The Telio, there are only two unique models so far in Vietnam. So in Vietnam, that model will kick off and will develop the e-commerce trend. Yeah.
How do you think that this, with this like huge logistics provider like One Mile Group, how does it affect to others, the smaller player, and even in the tech company like you?
So Vin Group actually they are e-commerce player, and to serving that e-commerce player, we need the 4PL, let's say fourth-party logistic player. So all the 3 first-party logistic and 2 second-party logistic will be, let's say, the individual player in this game only. Yeah, all the package will go to 4PL. Yeah. So that's with the new development of the 4PL. I mean the fourth-party logistic player. Yeah, recently now we just see like DHL, YCH, or Schenker, they are on 3PL, and under them there are 2PL like the transporter or the warehouse owner. But this model will kick off, will give a birth to the 4PL player, the new player in the logistic industry. That's one will use technology to manage all the physical activity of the 3PL. Yeah.
Wow.
And we are happy to be part of this movement, and we are happy to provide the service to One Mile Group and as well as Telio as well. Yeah, they are on our logistic system to manage the 3PL party logistic player. Yeah.
Okay. So as a tech company in logistics and service provider, how would you say to a potential customer, a logistics company, how much would you save by going digital, by using, say, your products?
Well, if you go digital by function, you will see the saving in very short time. But if you go full package of digitalization, the saving will be in the middle future, not in the near future. So our customer like Sabeco or Vietnam Post, they save about 20 to 30% of their cost by going digital. Yeah. The cost is almost the cost of transportation and the cost of warehousing. Let's say if you're saving the empty return of the truck, on the truck return full cargo on it, so the transport cost will reduce. So for the fact that our Vietnam Post, after 1 year operating with our system, they save 23% of the transport cost. Yeah. For the Sabeco one, they save about almost 30% of their logistic cost. So going digital, we have companies saving from 20 to 30% of the logistic cost. Yeah. And I do believe the country as a whole will optimize a lot. Let's say our GDP and our logistic cost of the country now represent 21% of the GDP. For developed country, it should be under 10%. So optimize enterprise by enterprise, and our own enterprise as a whole will have the whole country logistic cost will reduce. Yeah.
Yeah. And to follow up on that, yeah. So one of the questions from me, Nguyen, that at the beginning we said most of the logistics provider in Vietnam are small and very small. That means their budgets, their people, are not very abundant, to adopt expensive technology. So what would be the practical methods for these small logistics provider can adopt technology in their business, in their operation?
I do believe they can adopt it. I give you an example of Uber and Grab. When they come to Vietnam, you see all the traditional mobile driver, they change their behavior. You see all the traditional motorcycle driver, they now use mobile app. So the behavior of the user changed a lot. So for medium and small size enterprise, when they go digital, they need to concern about the behavior of the player, I mean their staffs. So the people and process are very the prerequisite in this changing of digitalization. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as a tech company, what would be your unique selling points to the logistic company? Of course, in the competition of the market.
Yeah, we go by platform. We think platform and we act platform. So our unique selling point is platform. Platform meaning we don't work at a function. We don't work at a single software. Now you see in the market there might be transport management system. There's only one software. We have a transport management system. We have a warehouse management system. We have a system for container. And we all link that individual system into a platform. That platform can have all the enterprise, all the company to play together and share their resources. If a single software will have one company to optimize their own internal resources, the platform will have all the player in the market will share the resource as a whole. So this is the HR collaboration of the supply chain. So every time we think about platform, we don't go by any single software. That's our unique selling point. The other strong point is our expertise. We have a two group of expertise. The first one is the expert in information technology. The second one is expert in logistics and supply chain. We join together and develop the platform. So we believe in the future, the platform will be adopted by the market as a whole. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That look like yeah. So actually, I'm looking at that solution is like we should offer, your company can offer as a package, right? Rather than the individual application, which can be very easily competed. But one, you got an integrated platform and services. It's hard, you know, it's to compete in that sense, and it takes a long time to build that platform as well.
Yeah. I give you the idea of the platform. Let's say now we talk about Vin, right? Vin Group. That you stay in Vin home, you Vin fast car, right? You Vin school, you everything from Vin is a kind of platform. So in terms of technology, we provide such kind of things. Then the customer don't need to use any other platform. If the platform we cannot develop, we can integrate with our other platform as well. Then the customer don't need to operate every individual software. Yeah.
Yeah. So about technology, so one of the concerns right now, if you know that when we talk about automations and AI, they will replace people, right? Less people will be required in the workforce. So what do you think? What's your view on like technology replacing people, and should we worry about that future?
Believe me, technology don't replace people. Technology have changed the people role. So when the technology develop, we develop ourselves. Now that will have actually for the fact that there's some job we'll lose, but we need to change our role. So the technology will not take the job out, but it have to develop you, to make you, better. So in one word, technology have to change our role in the society. Yeah.
Mm. And then again, follow up on that point. When you suggest that people need to change the role, probably their skill set to adapt with the new changing environment. And I know that Mr. Hong have been also lecturing in many local universities. Yeah. What's your views on what are the quality of the graduates that current university in Vietnam have, get them ready to be able to adopt, to take the new role in this digital age, especially in logistics and supply chain area? What would be your suggestions?
We talk a lot about the SKA. S means skill, K in knowledge, and A awareness. That's the lack of the graduate student. They are lack of practical knowledge. So when they go to our enterprise or our customer, we need to retrain the workforce. Yeah. So we are happy that recently I see many universities that have a practical program. That's the joint program between the university and the enterprise that have the student can learn and work at the same time. And then when they graduate, they are not fresh anymore in terms of professional life. So this is just gradual step. Yeah. So I think in the next 2 or 3 years, the student when they graduate, they are quite capable of doing the job. Yeah. Especially in the logistics and supply chain.
Mm. And your company, what kind of training, what kind of preparation that you provide to your interns? As I know that the company also take a lot of interns in your companies, right?
Yeah. Actually, we provide the solution to the customer. Our solution include the logistic and supply chain solution and the software as well. So when the intern go to our company, we train them in terms of the industry. Let's say what is logistic, what is supply chain, how the warehouse look like, what is transport, all related thing about. It take about 2 or 3 months for that lecturer. Yeah, and then we take them about 3 months to the site. They can learn and work as the worker at the site. And after 6 months, they join another 3 months, and then they do the one small project. We give them a small project, like say set up one system to the customer. Let's say we have a medium-sized customer, they buy the WMS or TMS, the warehouse management system or transport management system, and we give the intern to do that one. They can set up the system, they can input the data, and they can train to the customer as well after our 6 month or 9 month training to the intern. Yeah.
Wow, that's very hand-on experience.
Yeah.
In your presentation, you mentioned one of your projects that Sabeco is adopted your solution and have reduced costs substantially. So Binh Nguyen have asked this question: what are the typical KPIs that your company track when you collaborate or serve clients like Sabeco's and Vietpost and Viettel Post? How you measure that KPIs?
Let's say if customer use the WMS, the warehouse management system, we can measure the productivity of the worker. Let's say when the inbound or the outbound of the physical movement, we can track and trace all the productivity. Let's say how fast the goods is unload from the truck, how fast they receive into the warehouse, how fast they are put away into the racking location, and how fast they are picked. Let's say master picking or consolidate picking or single picking, wave picking, how fast they are do, how fast they are load into the truck. So we track and track all the productivity into the KPI of the warehouse operation. In terms of TMS, the transport management system, we based on our black box, the GPS from the truck. We know how fast the truck go, how many times the driver open the door, where if the good is stored in the cold truck, we can check the aircon whether it function or not, the degree and humidity is good enough or not, whether the driver is sleepy or not, and whether they go on time to the customer or not. And when they deliver good to the customer can rating the driver by the 5-star, 4-star, and 6-star. So we can have a KPI on the delivery time, on the drop point, and on the behavior of the driver. Yeah, that's an example of our KPI that we can able to provide to our customer through the system. Yeah.
And do you sometimes get some kind of requirement from the client that you cannot satisfy?
Satisfying customer is our passion. We might not satisfy at the moment, but we attempt to do it in the future. So let's say customer asks us a new function that we cannot serve it within 2 days of requirement. We tell them that we need 3 days or 4 days, but we can come to an end with you. So we mean satisfying customer will help us to have a customer loyalty. So we will never refuse any requirement from customer. Just sooner or later, we need to satisfy the customer. Yeah.
Okay. And so
I want to input this one. Actually, the customer requirement will have beautify our system. It's a fact. The customer experience we call UX and UI. The customer icon, the customer experience will have beautify our system. So we are listening to the customer requirement. Just for the timing only. If we cannot satisfy according to the requirement of time, we tell them, be patient, we can serve you in coming future. But we will go to the end of the journey with you. That's our commitment to the customer.
Yeah, and then as you just mentioned, so you work with demanding customer that actually help you develop better products. Now in the logistics and in software industry, we got very big names in the supply chain software like SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, Dynamics. And you are Vietnamese and local startup companies. What would be your competitive advantages against these giant software provider?
Yeah, our biggest competitive advantage is the local understanding. the local experience. Yeah, they are global company, but they might not understand in depth of the local requirement. We understand the local. The Vietnam logistics is different from the other country in the world. Let's say ERP or Oracle, they have a TMS, the transport management system. They use Google Map. Now you go everywhere, you use Google Map. That Google Map will sometimes take you to the river. That you cannot cross the river by your motorbike, right? So we develop we use our machine learning. We enrich the data into the map. That we build our own map that help make the good routing, vehicle routing for our TMS. So that's our strong point. Yeah. And for the POD, let's say proof of delivery in Vietnam, they require a lot of signature, or let's say e-signature is not usable in Vietnam. So we take photo, we sign, and we upload the photo. That is the practice. So it's only happen in our system. That I mean, we understand the local requirement. That our best competitive advantage compared to other big player. So that's why if now you see all the major 3PL company in Vietnam, they use our system. Let's say German Dep, Vinapco, TBS, or some joint venture with foreign country like YCH, DHL, or Sagawa, they all use our system in Vietnam. Yeah.
Thank you. Very impressive.
Yeah.
I think probably I'll have last question. So one audience asked, can you explain more about the e-port? Did you mention in the presentation? E-port,
right?
Yeah.
Smart port, right? EPOD or e-port?
EPOD, sorry.
EPOD. That's what EPOD. POD, it means proof of delivery. When you deliver to customer, you need a proof to make sure that you hand over to customer. And by on that, the logistic company can collect money from the shipper. So EPOD is the electronic POD. In the past, if a driver they deliver to customer, the customer need to sign on the paper, and the driver they bring back the document to the shipper. So let's say you have a 4-hour delivery to customer, you take at least 4 hours to come back to hand over the document to the shipper. The shipper, I mean the good owner. So our system will help you to have first of all the information of delivery. I mean, at the time of handover to the customer, the system already checked this one. The system know that the customer already received the shipment, and then to acknowledge the customer need to sign on the document. And when they sign on the document, the driver take a photo and upload into the system. And we also enable the e-signature. We enable the one-time password, or we enable the photo of the customer into the picture. And we take note of the position where the customer is staying by our geographical fencing. So that's one will consolidate into a so-called EPOD, electronic proof of delivery. Yeah. And later our shipper can collect money from the customer without any refusal. That they don't receive any product. They say, hey, I will have an EPOD showing that you already received, acknowledge the receipt of our shipment. Yeah. That's the concept of EPOD. Hope it's clear. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very clear. And I think that will wrap up our session today, Mr. Hong. And it really, a lot of insights, a lot of practical information that you have shared with us. And I really appreciate your time and your experts in logistics and supply chain technology area. And now I would like to pass to Professor Robert McClelland to conclude the session, please. Yeah, Robert.
Yes, well, thank you very much. I think today we've had two extremely interesting and very technological sets of speakers. From Mr. Hong, for example, we heard that he's got a number of tech solutions to a whole range of issues in the supply chain, especially with truck operations and container, pickup, return, matching, and in all of these reducing costs. And there are a whole set of integrated solutions. And his example of Sabico, our beverage company, was very apt. So SmartLog provides all of these solutions for logistics and manufacturing. And I think that was well presented today. Also, thanks go to Mr. David and Mr. Nicholas And we saw with them they're digitalizing Schneider warehouse operation for Vietnam in their great video, which was very, very interesting. And again, it shows it can reduce costs and human labor substantially. So we looked at both aspects of logistics and supply chain. We've looked at how we can save costs with technology and how we can implement technology very successfully in Vietnam, which shows that, you know, we are key players now in the Asian community, and this is very good for trade and very good for the supply of goods in our logistics supply chains. So thank you very much to both speakers, and I'm sure Dr. Hiep will reimburse you with some nice gifts from RMIT. But I'd like also to thank our backroom team for a successful event yet again, number 6, and also Dr. Hiep for fielding the questions. So thank you very much, everybody. It's been another great event.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Hong. And I'm sure I will catch up with you very soon to give the gifts, you know, maybe probably digital gifts that I can pass it to you right now. Thank you, everyone, and look forward to our next business talk.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.